Number one, which is what everybody just cares about the most here, Chris, is where does the quarterback carousel stop?
I know.
We have a lot of dominoes right now.
Yes.
And the first question is from Scott M. 2032. Sam Darnold goes where? He had a very good season. Not sure why all the hate.
Right. I think it's not about hate, okay? He did have a very good season. I think the big thing is, do you view him as, wait, he's actually the future of our franchise, and then what do we have to pay for him, right? Those are the two biggest things with Sam Darnold. I think there's a lot of teams that are here that are QB needy that would like Sam Darnold maybe for the right price, or first they want to see what shakes out here with some of these other guys, right? There's some unknowns here. Stafford kind of messed some things up a little bit in the fact of opening up negotiations just to get the Rams to move up their price tag a little bit, which is what we kind of thought he was doing all along, and we said that, right? But also within that, there's the Rodgers factor in this that affects Sam Darnold. And Rodgers, there's no doubt, wanted to go to the West Coast. I do think Rodgers, from everything I know in the league, yes, if Stafford moved from the Rams, Rodgers was going to be front and center with the LA Rams, right? So that plays a part in this. The other one that's weird, and I don't know if we're going to hear about it totally quite yet, or if it's coming, is the Kirk Cousins matter as well. That plays into this. And I still think they're figuring out things and probably still in the midst of talking to his camp and figuring out how they want to handle things so they can make this look as good as possible for the Atlanta Falcons. So within that, again, I'm not one to chicken out here, okay? I'm not going to do that. I don't think the Giants is happening. Right? I'm not looking at that. I just don't think New York's going to love that. And if you made me think, and I don't want to get ahead of myself because I know we probably got more questions here about this, all right? But maybe I should do it like this. I think when all's said and done, if we go right now, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go to the Giants. That would be my bet. That would be the one I think they continue to pursue. Just Rodgers, looking at the landscape right now, options he has available, oddly enough, I think the Giants are one of the better options. They definitely want a veteran quarterback, right? Because their ass is on the line. So do you want to go through the bumps and the trials and tribulations with the young quarterback and then what, get fired and then somebody else gets to take over, right? Right. So they need somebody that can win for them right now. So I think there's that. I also look at Rodgers and go, hey, the Giants, again, you don't have a lot of options. You can kind of stick it to the Jets, which we know Rodgers likes to do, right? And so,
but he wasn't good with the Jets.
He wasn't good.
So, what are you sticking it to?
It'll piss the Jets off, though, nonetheless. And he probably doesn't like how it was ended and everything else.
That he was cut.
Exactly.
He had no say. And
doesn't have to uproot his life. 100%. Doesn't have to uproot his life. Has a, no doubt, marquee receiver he could go to, right, in Malik Neighbors. Wan'Dale Robinson's not damn bad either as a 3. They need to get somebody else there. I don't know if
it'll be Devontae Adams.
It
Let's
probably
not kid
will
ourselves.
be. I mean, it probably will be, even though I don't know if the Giants would do that, and we can talk about that in a second too. Defensive line's pretty good. Franchise left tackle.
For sure.
Don't have to worry about that there.
Needs to stay healthy,
there's
but he
nothing
can play.
perfect out there for Aaron Rodgers. But if you just made me think right now, here we are, Wednesday, 5 days before free agency starts, that would be my first one. Okay, so I would go Rodgers to the Giants. If you made me go now to the next thing with Sam Darnold, all of the other options make sense to a degree, right? I could see Tennessee, the Raiders. I could also, I'm going to throw the Indianapolis Colts in there because I think that they've talked they're going to open it up. Now, how much do they want to open it up? How competitive do they want to make it? I don't know. But if you want a guy to come in to go, wait, if we have to start him, he can be good and he could save our ass and our offense can be pretty good, Sam Darnold would be that guy. Also within that, wait, he can come in and he's not such a star proven commodity that like Anthony Richardson is going to feel like he has no chance to win the competition, right? So you can truly get competition there. But I think even within that, I'm going to say he ends up going to the Raiders. That to me is where I'm going to go. Limited options.
They got to do something
They're at
too.
number 6, right?
Yeah, 6.
In the draft. I'm interested to see, and in my heart of hearts, I don't know if I definitely see Tom Brady liking these quarterbacks and taking one at number 6, okay?
Right.
That's where I would go, and we'll have a lot of conversation when we do quarterback rankings and do all that and really break it down. But I think that's I know that there's a thought out there in the NFL anyways of whether any of these guys are worth a top 5 or 6 pick. let alone if there is one, it's Cam Ward, and then we don't know where the other ones fall exactly, right? So I guess in a long way to say it, that would be my answer for Sam Darnold. I probably answered a few other future questions here or there, but I felt like I had to explain that a little bit in depth to kind of explain where my head was at in this whole situation.
You have to put it all together
right.
because it's a carousel. It's a game of musical chairs. With Darnold, I agree with you. It's not that he's not wanted. It's that you need to figure out what he is.
Exactly.
And once you figure out what he is, what does he want to be paid?
Exactly. And how many eggs do you want to put in that basket and be tied to him for how long and where that goes, right?
Right. And he's probably trying to figure out, like, he just went to a situation where he was going to go into camp competing with a first-round quarterback pick. And we know how that went because of injury and everything like that.
Right.
Is he okay doing that again? After the season he might be like, I'd rather the Raiders are a team that could just commit to him. Right? There's no like, hey, we're going to also draft Shedeur at 6, and here you go again.
Right.
They could have an honest plan and be like, hey, man, we're going to go get you this kind of piece to play with, and you're the guy. Like, you're the guy. Tennessee, the same thing. Tennessee could sit there and say, actually, we like Travis Hunter at wide receiver. We're just going to take him.
Yeah, or we trade down and we get a bunch of picks there.
Right.
We let Sam Darnold be the quarterback, and he would fit that offense and what they do. It's West Coasty. He's been involved in that. So that's where I'm with you there. I mean, yeah, he's going to have to deal with that until the draft day, no matter what, I think, with Tennessee or the Raiders, and hearing that and hoping they don't draft a quarterback so he could be the guy. Exactly. I think that'll be the real thing there. Now, the next question.
Yes.
Right? Read that one if you don't mind.
Curbio Analytics, because this is the next combo I wanted to go to with you, Chris. There have been recent reports that the Vikings may sign Darnold to a short-term deal. Do you think that's just Darnold's agent trying to boost his market, or do you think it's real? To me, there's no good reason for the Vikings to re-sign Darnold. Go younger, better, and cheaper. Before you go, Chris, I just want to kind of drop something in here.
Yeah.
There is no guarantee J.J. McCarthy is better than Sam Darnold.
Yeah, no, there's not.
He could be.
No,
he has the upside to be.
Right.
I think it's wildly dangerous to assume his first year starting in the NFL that he'll be better than Sam Darnold. Maybe year 2 or 3.
Right.
But I think that's a dangerous assumption, in my opinion.
It is. There's no question. We don't know what that'll be. Now, by all due accounts, but what we saw in the first preseason game in training camp, it seemed like it was trending that way, right? Where he was going to be the starter.
Yep.
But you're right. Sam Darnold, again, back to what at Scott M2 2032 said. He had a really good damn year. A really damn good year. There's no denying that. But the end of the year is going to leave questions for everybody, and it's just especially not only because it's Sam Darnold and he hasn't done it for a long period of time consistently year after year, but yes, the way that last game of the regular season for the number 1 seed in Detroit looked, there's no doubt. He didn't play good. He missed plays. No doubt about that. The wild card game is one where I've defended him, and I've said this to Florio. It's just there wasn't much to be had.
Right.
And I think we were just piling on because they lost the way they lost. The quarterback is the guy, and he played bad the week before, so everyone just thought, he played bad. And I didn't have nearly as much of a problem in the wild card loss to the Rams. So off of what Curbio Analytics says, one, that's why I wasn't in favor of, there was the talks of would the Vikings franchise Sam Darnold. First off, $40 million. I don't think anybody's going to pay $40 million for Sam Darnold for 1 year. That's not happening, right? The other thing, too, and I think a lot of points are made here by Curbio Analytics. One, trust your evaluation in J.J. McCarthy and what you wanted, and you felt like he was the future of your organization and he could be that guy, right? You traded up a spot to make sure you get him in the top 10. Okay, so trust that. And then having Sam Darnold back is only going to confuse things and really hinder both of their development. So if you're in pro Sam Darnold world and you want him to get better, having J.J. McCarthy breathing down his neck very close to the University of Michigan, right? And then we go, they're 1-2, and maybe Sam Darnold's not even playing that bad, right? It doesn't matter. It's going to be definite. Right. Well, I mean, they drafted J.J. McCarthy at number 9. Why aren't they going with J.J. McCarthy? Is it J.J. McCarthy time yet? Right. We'll talk about it after the break, right?
3.
I mean, that's where it's going to be constant. And that's not going to be good for their football team. And that's not good for either one. So that's where, yes, I am like, nope, that's over. J.J. McCarthy, start framing it to be the guy there. Get back Daniel Jones, right, and make him the backup for an affordable price, because I think Daniel Jones will go back there knowing, hey, the situation's great. If I do get a chance here, the way they coach, and this guy's a quarterback whisperer, and the talent I have, I can put myself right back in the mix of like, hey, if I get to play, I can be a starting quarterback, right? So that would be the thing I would say for Minnesota that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's just, you think about the $40 million you're projecting there, that can get Minnesota a starting corner, maybe Aaron Jones back, and maybe something else.
Yeah.
That could be 3 players.
Exactly.
As much as we all love Sam Darnold, and I know they do too, like that's not a complete roster as we saw. You could fill all 3 big needs with that money.
No doubt about it.
That's the hard part about it.
Exactly.
As much as you'd love to have him back, at some point, like you gotta go for it.
They have a good roster.
Yes.
But that's it. It's good.
It's not great.
We're not sitting there going, wow. I feel like the coaching staff gets the most out of that roster, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Do I think that team on paper is a 14-3 football team?
No.
Not really. I don't. But I think that speaks to O'Connell and Brian Flores.
Without a doubt.
And then to your point, yes, there's got to be a few more difference makers, especially on the defensive side of the ball, to get them over the hump. And so we view them as one of those teams that does have that roster that we all, are in awe of. Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Hey, just because the season's over, it doesn't mean we're over. We ain't going anywhere. The NFL never dies.
We're staying right here. Hit subscribe. We got every NFL move. We'll react to that. Plus, Chris has got 4,719 draft prospect profiles to do.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe. You know where to find us. Peace out, homies.